You've done the inner work. You've become someone new. Now it's time to plant the seeds that will shape your future. In this episode, we talk about what it looks like to intentionally build a life that aligns with who you've become, why it's never too late to start, and how the small choices you make today will grow into the life you've been praying for. Because remember, your garden doesn't grow by accident. It grows by decision. Hey y'all, welcome to another episode of the Pretty Aligned Podcast, a space where we shift perspectives, reframe the way we think, and step into alignment with who we're truly meant to be. I'm your host, Octavia Dolly, and every week we'll have real conversations that help you reset your mindset, overcome limiting beliefs, and create a life that feels good from the inside out. So grab your coffee, tea, your journal, or just your open mind and get ready to receive. Let's get into it. First and foremost, I hope that you all had a lovely Valentine's Day weekend. If you celebrate that, I hope that you were showered with love. I hope that you gave love. And I hope that everything just went exactly how you hope that it did. I had a smooth weekend. It was very, very beautiful. The weather has been nice here in Chicago, and I'm so grateful for that. So, fingers crossed, it stays like this for a while. All right, so let's dive into this episode. The first topic I want to touch on is that you're not starting over, you're starting aligned. And I want to make sure that I stress this with some of you because I know how it feels when you become this new version of yourself and it feels like you're starting from scratch. That doesn't have to be a negative thing, that can be a beautiful thing, right? Because this time it feels different because you're different. See, moving differently is a beautiful thing because your mindset has changed. You're not the old version anymore. You don't do the things that does not support the life that you want to live. You're thinking differently. You're making better decisions and you're becoming even more intentional with the decisions that you make. You're no longer chasing. You're choosing. And some of you may be thinking, I don't want my old life anymore, but I'm still building my new one. And that is totally fine because you might be feeling a little conflicted at this time. You don't know really what it will take to build a new life, but this is an awesome time for you to reflect on what that looks like. How does that feel for you? An example would be that you're creating routines that reflect your future, right? So if you're the type of person that has a certain, let's say $5,000 in your savings by the end of the year, what habits would you take to make sure that you reach that goal? If you're the type of person that never has a late payment on any of your bills, how could you hold yourself accountable by doing that, right? So this is basically an example of saying no to things that you used to accept. See, you may have used to been the person that used to spend carelessly, right? You just spend, maybe you're always overspending or you're not budgeting or you never have the funds to actually do what you want to do. But now that you're in this new version of yourself, you get to mindfully manage your finances. You're more intentional with your habits, with how you save, with how you invest, and with how you spend. Remember, you have the power to choose your garden because everything in your life right now is something that you are planting. Your habits are your seeds. So you really want to be mindful of what you're doing every single day, every single moment. Are you sticking to those daily routines that you took so much time to curate? Are you holding yourself accountable and following through? Are you keeping your promises to yourself. Your environment is your soil. It is so important to make sure that you are in environments that supports the seeds that you're planting. Because let me tell you, there is no good in becoming a new version, the best version of yourself, if you're still going to operate in the old environments that does not support who you are today. It's hard to grow in soil, or I should say, it's hard to grow in bad soil, right? Remember, your decisions determine your harvest. So be intentional about the friends that you keep, the company that you keep, the conversations that you have, the rooms that you enter, the people that you share your visions with. It's so important to have a community of people that supports you and your vision, people that are on your team, that are rooting for you, that will hold you accountable when you fall off. They are also a part of your garden. And during this time, you may be thinking or realizing how much control you actually have over your life. This is an opportunity where you get to choose discipline over distraction and where you get to really invest in yourself instead of running away from challenges. Remember, it is never too late to plant seeds because everything has its own season. You didn't miss your window. You found your alignment. So now that you're here, you get to let go of the timeline of pressure. You get to release any regret that you've been holding on to. And you get to understand what divine timing truly means. You started when you became ready. You're not late. You're right where you're supposed to be. And this also relates to comparison, right? Because again, it's so easy to compare our journeys to others. It's so easy to see everyone else succeeding, reaching their goals. And it seems like, wow, they're getting there quicker than I did. How is it that they just started this and they already succeeded? And I've been working on this for years and I still haven't reached my goal. We're not doing that. The old you used to compare your timeline to others, and that's what kept you stuck. The new you now understands that divine timing is personal and it's different for everyone. Remember, alignment makes things grow faster and healthier. Your life will reflect what you plant consistently. Your future is being built in your daily routine, you all. See, I think sometimes people misunderstand the definition of future or misinterpret, I should say, what future means, right? The future doesn't always mean a year from now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now. The future can mean a second from now. Do you understand that? I really want you to focus on that. The future can be a second from now. A second. So that is why it's so important to be intentional and mindful on what you're planting consistently. Your small actions matters and your consistency is going to create the transformation. I want you to keep this in mind. Your life is changing because you are changing. Now, this is something that some of you may not want to hear, but I'm going to say it anyways. Because it's the truth, and it's a truth that I've had to learn how to be okay with and to accept. And that is, you won't see the harvest immediately. Let that sit with you for a second. Let that marinate. You won't see the harvest immediately. So what does that mean? Planting season requires patience. This is when you really have to trust the process. And you really have to lock in, y'all. You have to be so consistent with your habits and the routines that you're not tracking the growth, but you're trusting that the seeds are doing what it needs to do in the soil because you continue to show up and water it. You allow it to have the sun that it needs. You're speaking the words of affirmations to it. You're not digging up seeds out of doubt. You're staying committed without instant results. And you may come across the thought of, I'm doing the work, but I don't see the results yet. Baby, let me tell you, speaking from experience, something you definitely will have to accept in your heart and know with confidence is that growth is happening underground first. All right, love, let's go over some relatable scenarios during this hot seat coaching segment. Remember, I welcome you to let me know what's going on in your world that needs a reframe. Send your scenarios to me, and I just might coach you on the podcast. The link to the submission form is listed in the show notes. The first scenario is the late bloomer. This may be the person that feels like you're behind, and people your age already have the career, the body, the relationship, the lifestyle, everything that you want. And you're just now becoming serious about your life. Whew, I've definitely felt like this before. And I felt like this more so in my 20s than I do in my 30s. But let me tell you something. You are not late. You are aligned. I want you to reframe your mindset with that. You're not late. You are aligned. Everything happens in divine timing. Everyone's journey is different than others. And just because you see the glitz and the glamours of what everyone has on the outside, that does not attest for what it took for them to get it. You don't know what sacrifices people had to make, or you don't know how many of them are actually settling and are unhappy with what they have. Starting aligned is more powerful than starting early and lost. Now you may identify with being the intentional rebuilder. This is the type of person whose mindset has changed, but your life doesn't reflect it yet. And it may be frustrating because you know that you're different now. Oh, this is so relatable to me. Here's the thing, your life is catching up to your identity. That doesn't mean you stop, that just means you keep planting because the results always follows consistency. Now, how many of you are the fearful planter? You want more, but you're scared to fully commit because you don't want to fail. Now, since we're talking about planting seeds, how many of you have planted seeds, or let's say someone bought you some flowers and you knew in your mind, I'm going to keep these flowers alive. I'm going to do what it takes. I'm going to follow the instructions and I'm going to do everything it says. And the flowers still end up dying. That has happened to me way too many times, but I am proud to say that your girl has definitely unlocked her green thumb. I can make any plants grow at this point. But here's the thing, nothing grows if nothing is planted. If you want something to bloom in your life, you must plant the seeds. Do not allow fear to keep you in empty fields. Remember, we are growing a garden here. And speaking of growing, how many of you are the impatient grower? You've been consistent, but you're not seeing results fast enough or when you want to see them. Let me tell you this, roots grow before fruits appear. The strongest gardens you can ever think of always takes time. Nothing can happen overnight when you're planting the seeds. It all takes time. So I have a few questions that I would like to ask you for you to reflect on. The first question is, what seeds are you planting daily? Does your routine reflect the life that you want? What garden are you creating right now? And are you planting intentionally or living accidentally? I cannot wait to hear your answers. Your future isn't waiting for you, it's growing from what you do today. If you're ready to stop questioning yourself, move with clarity instead of confusion, align your mindset with your purpose, and become the best version of yourself, then let me tell you something. The Mindset Matters digital playbook is just for you. See, this playbook was designed for the person who knows they're called for more but feels stuck, unsure, or out of alignment. It will teach you how to reframe your mindset and become the best version of yourself. So I encourage you to grab your copy today. I also offer one-on-one coaching opportunities for creatives and entrepreneurs who are tired of guessing, overthinking, and doing everything alone. Maybe you need a little guidance, right? During our coaching session, I will teach you everything about content creation, social media management, monetization, strategy, analytics, and oh my gosh, so much more. And after our sessions, you will walk away with clarity, confidence, and a plan you can actually execute. All of this information is listed in the show notes. If you enjoyed this episode, then please leave a positive rating and review. Thank you for hanging out with me today on the Pretty Aligned podcast. I hope something in this episode gave you a fresh perspective or a new way to see yourself. Remember, small shifts create a big change. If you love today's conversation, share this with a friend who needs it and make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss the next reset. Until then, keep aligning, keep growing, and keep becoming the best version of you. I'll see you in the next episode.